Om Shanti. These are some thoughts on the Murli of the 15th of February, 2022. You'll see that one of Baba's popular topics is surrounding the identity of the Supreme Soul, the relationship with the Supreme Soul. And of course, that is the key topic, isn't it? In the 1960s, there was very little infrastructure. There would have been maybe 1,000 or 2,000 BKs. And it was quite normal that there would be a BK on their own. So if you imagine a BK on their own with a few pictures, how do you support them? And because of the lack of infrastructure, the lack of training, the lack of support, the one thing that went to all BKs, even if it took some time, was the Murli. So what you'll see is that a lot of these Murlis are actually on teacher training topics. And today's Murli is one of those, where Baba is using it to teach brothers and sisters how to explain the pictures. So we've had a few of these Murlis recently, and the main picture is of the Trimurti, because that is about the Creator. And so this topic of how God is the Creator is a big one, and it's also a big feature of Hinduism, because this Trinity is connected with these three powers of creation, sustenance and destruction. And everyone knows about those who knows anything about Hinduism. So Baba says you should focus upon that. And you'll also have noted that Baba is very keen that we teach through asking questions. And questions get people thinking, because the intellect can be very passive, it can be asleep. And particularly in certain cultures, children are not really taught to think or to question. They're just, from childhood, a person is just listening and absorbing and remembering, and then recalling in an exam. So many people are just taught like that, or they're used to attending bhakti gatherings where you don't think either, you just enjoy the gathering. But Baba is very keen that we get people thinking, and asking questions is a very good way of doing that. So these two questions that he wants us to begin with are: what is your relationship with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? And then what is your relationship with Prajapita Brahma? And of course you would only ask that Brahma one if it's a Hindu audience, because they would know that deity Brahma. Otherwise you would just ask the first one. And Baba's explaining to us that really Shiva should not be part of that trinity. Shiva is a level above. So first of all, we've got to explain that we believe in incorporeal Shiva, because people will immediately think of Shankar. And so we explain to people that incorporeal Shiva is different to Shiva Shankar. And usually when I start off, I just leave it at that. I don't get into, that there isn't really a Shankar or anything like that. But just that we focus on Shiva, but it's the incorporeal Shiva. And most people wouldn't be that familiar with old scriptures like the Shiv Purana, where Shiva is referred to as Rudra, as incorporeal. Maybe they've heard these names. So we sort of separate, and then we can tell them that the Shiva Lingam, for example, is an image that's linked with this incorporeal Shiva. And then Baba saying, explain how that Shiva is connected then with Brahma, and how the two of them combine. So when it comes to creation, the meaning of creation is being able to access Shiv Baba's energy, Shiv Baba's attainments. And Brahma is this gate, as I've been saying, like in a canal you have those locks, you have those gates that let the water through and in and out, then you can pass. So what Baba is saying is that I give my inheritance through Brahma. So Brahma is this gatekeeper. He is the senior mother. Shiv Baba, and Daddy Janki used to say this as well, that when you hear Baba speak, if you watch any of the video Murlis and things, he's got this about him that he is the father. So it's just the way he speaks, the expression on his face, the tone that he speaks with. And he's always talking to everyone, as you are my child, sweet child, you're my child, I am the father. And this identity is very, very powerful for Shiv Baba. And if anyone ever says to Shiv Baba, Baba, you are the mother as well, he always rejects it. No, I am the father. And this Brahma, the soul of Brahma, even if the body of Brahma is a male, the soul of Brahma is actually the mother. And it's only this combination, when the two energies combine, that the children are born. And even that is not really like a physical birth, but it's more like a spiritual rebirth of the soul. So in this way, Baba is explaining that combination. And then the soul of Brahma becomes Narayan, becomes Vishnu. The soul of Mama becomes Lakshmi. So again, it's not really a separate soul, but Baba is saying that Vishnu is the symbol of the inheritance. Baba comes to liberate all of us from impure rebirth. So taking rebirth in the Iron Age through vices. But Baba is saying he doesn't liberate us from pure rebirth. So we have to continue to take rebirth, but it will then be in the land of Vishnu. So Baba is saying that there are these three terms that people use. Brahma Puri, the word Puri. Now, the word Puri, one Puri you might have heard of is the food Puri. So Baba is not referring to the food, which is like a little chapati, little fried chapati. But the other meaning of Puri is realm, place, land. So Puri. And so they say there's Brahma Puri, Vishnu Puri, and Shiv Puri in Bhakti. So Baba says, explain to them that actually this is the three worlds. So the land of Nirvana is Shiv Puri, the subtle regions is Brahma Puri, and the golden age is Vishnu Puri. And the golden age is in this world. Heaven is not another world, it's a time period of this world. So in this way, Baba wants us to walk people through, because there's so much bhakti in people's intellects that you've got to slowly, bit by bit, walk people through these concepts. It can be a bit complicated. And then Baba is saying that ultimately you're connecting everyone's intellect with Shiv Baba. That's the aim of all of this. So you just take everyone back to that question of what is your relationship with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? And then you explain to them that the soul has become weak. So Baba is referring to the story of the Ramayana. And in that, one of the criticisms of Ram is that he was weak, and so his wife, his queen, got stolen. So Baba, they were kidnapped by Ravan. And Baba says that even to kidnap a queen of today's world, it would be nearly impossible. So would Ram really be that weak? And so Baba is saying that, of course, this is to do with the unlimited cycle. And you souls are Sita. So yesterday Baba was saying to us, he is the bridegroom and we are the brides. So the soul is Sita. And we get kidnapped by Ravan in the Copper Age because we don't really know the importance of purity, or if we do, we can't really do anything about it because we are just caught up, really, aren't we, in our household lives. So we get kidnapped by Ravan, and then Mama is explaining in there's a little section of her class after the Murli that the thing about the vices is we use them, and initially they give us a sweetness, but over time the vices actually suck out all the sweetness from our lives, and then eventually from the whole world. So then, like, nothing satisfies us. So this is the jail of Ravan, and so Sita is depicted in that. And so Baba is explaining that this is how you can explain these different places. You've got the land of Shiva, the land of Brahma, the land of Vishnu, and the land of Ravan. And now Baba's come to make the Sitas back into Shiv Shaktis. So all of us souls, we have to go. Sita is always crying and kidnapped, and it's a victim sort of state. But now Baba's re-empowering us. So he's saying, connect your yoga with me so that you become re-empowered once again. And the power of knowledge and the power of yoga returns you back to your original strength. And in today's blessing, Baba is reminding us of what he told us yesterday, that if you want to develop a stable stage, you're going to have to connect your heart just with one. Mama's little class or section of her class is complementing the blessing today, where Mama is saying that one of the tendencies of Brahmins can be that we want to enjoy life now and we want to accumulate for the golden age. So we hold on to our attachments of this world because we want to make the most of this world as well. And then we want to take from the Brahmin world as well. And that stage of unlimited disinterest is never really developed, because actually we're really interested in this world and we're really interested in the Brahman world. And so that internal solitude doesn't get developed. And I've shared this with you many times, that when I was about 12, 13 years old, I'd asked Daddy that, can you name 10 easy ways to come into the 8 jewels? Mama's using the term scholarship, but that's what that means. It means coming into the 8 jewels, the rosary of victory. And Daddy said that just be a 0 and remember 1. That's your 10. And this is what Mama is conveying, that actually the scholarship here is about becoming less. It's about the power to pack up and the power to withdraw. It's not about becoming more and having more. It's about reducing everything so that I'm going back into my essence. And in my essence, it's just me and Shiv Baba. And this is what Mama, Baba, and these senior daddies managed to do, that they managed to live within all of the expansion, but internally their stage of disinterest meant that they could just be interested in Shiv Baba. So Mama is saying that as you develop your yoga, you realize that Shiv Baba can provide the sweetness of all relationships. So your heart can be fulfilled, that he has all of the different attainments inside of him. But you can only discover that if you commit to your yoga. Shanti.